Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Woodin, and I'll be your host today. We have a special guest with us today from the Veteran Strong Community Center. I had to make sure I said that
You
right.
did.
Donna Dunyan. Donna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're not a strange face
Nope.
to this show. I think you were with us on our very first episode.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about the new Veteran Strong Community Center with Donna. I mean, it used to be the Army Strong Community Center. Why did it change? What came about?
Well, we opened up as the Army Strong Community Center back in March of 2012. And it was a program of the U.S. Army Reserves. It was just a pilot program at the time. And unfortunately, in April, we got notice that they were going to cut and close the program. So it affected not just Bristol, but all 5 centers across the country. And what happened when the veteran community in Bristol found out that we were closing, the Bristol Veterans Council stepped up, decided to adopt the program, and we reopened on July 1st as the Veteran Strong Community Center.
So there was no
No
period
lapse.
of downtime.
No lapse in time. Army Strong closed on June 30th. Veteran Strong opened on July 1st.
What changes can people expect to see now that it's a different, pretty much, you're still doing it, but it's a different organization?
Not a whole lot of changes. I'm hoping people don't recognize a lot of changes. Obviously, the name change is the primary change. We're still in Bristol City Hall on the first floor. The city and the Veterans Council were able to work out a deal and negotiate a lease, so we're still there. I'm still there. They asked me to stay on and work the program. All the same service providers are coming in. We have Soldiers, Sailors, and Marines Fund continue to come in and be the fund representatives for the area. We have vet center counselors that come in once a week. Service officers from the American Legion, State of Connecticut, the department.
Yep.
Service officer comes in twice a month. Starting in August, I'll have a service officer from the State of Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs. We also have people from U.S. Family Health Plans come in about once a month. She won't be in August, she'll be in again in September. That's an alternative program to TRICARE for anyone that's still eligible for TRICARE, or our retired military are eligible for that program as well. Starting this month, I have a whole new service provider coming in, the advocate from the A2W program, which is the Army Wounded Warrior program for Big Army. He'll be coming in as an advocate starting in July. So he'll be here this month, and just more enhancements. I hope to bring more and more and build it bigger and bigger.
Whereas before you had to answer to your bosses out of state.
Yeah.
Now you're pretty much handling the whole thing.
Yep.
Now.
We are a nonprofit now because we fall under the Bristol Veterans Council. So I have a little more leniency on things, a little more freedom, and can enhance certain things, whereas before I was a little more restricted and couldn't always do everything that I wanted to do.
Including coming on the show.
Including coming on the show, yes.
Yeah. You know, so a lot of the, in some respects, it's just a change of name.
Yeah, yep. I've really tried to keep it a seamless transition. The location's the same, phone number's the same, the email has changed a little. It's a much longer email, if it could have gotten any longer than my government one. But I'm still in the same location, so people know they can stop in City Hall or call the same phone number and get the same person there.
You did give the email address to the crew here.
I actually gave them the Facebook information.
Okay.
It's easier actually to reach me through Facebook because I set it up where they can just push a button and the email will go automatically.
Now you say you're on the first floor of,
Yes.
of City Hall. For the viewers that are familiar with the City Hall in Bristol, that's actually on the opposite side of the courthouse. Mm-hmm. So it would be on the south side of the building,
Yes.
next to the parking lot.
Yep.
Now, can you still park in that parking lot?
Yeah, the City Hall, they've made public parking. If you come back in back of Meadow Street and come behind City Hall,
Yeah.
all that area there is public parking as well. I don't think a lot of people realize that. They've moved more of the staff to either in the parking garage above the police department or on the side Laurel Street, smaller parking lot. But there's still plenty of public parking along that back.
I don't think there's many residents of Bristol that are aware of that.
No, I know they're not because they come in and they're like, there's no parking, there's no parking. I parked across the street in the empty lot. I'm like, nope, if you come down Meadow Street, it's a one-way entrance into the back parking lot. There's
By
plenty
Emmanuel Lutheran
Yes, come in down by Emmanuel Lutheran.
off of West Street.
Yep.
How is the Veterans Strong Community Center funded?
We are funded through the Bristol Veterans Council, which is a nonprofit. So we rely heavily on donations, grants. I've learned a lot more this last month about grant writing than I ever thought I would ever learn. So, and we're actually doing a fundraiser coming up in August. It'll be a poker ride. And we are leaving from Yankee Harley Davidson
Over
in
on
Bristol
Route 6.
on Route 6. They're going to take a route that'll take the riders through New Hartford, Goshen, Waterbury, and then back up to Chute Gates in Terryville on Route 6 for a ceremonial ribbon cutting for the new center, as well as a buffet lunch. And both Yankee Harley and Chute Gates are sponsors of the event.
Sounds like a very, very nice ride, ending at a very nice place.
I think it'll be really good. I'm hoping it'll be really good. We're always looking for people to donate for raffle prizes. If anybody wants to donate time, I need volunteers to help man the various stations where the riders will come and get their cards. And then we need people both at Yankee to help check everybody in and at Chute Gates to check them in for lunch and do raffles and everything else.
And for those that aren't familiar with Chute Gates, it's a restaurant right on 72, not 72, right
Route
on
6.
Route 6.
Yep, right on Route 6, right next to the Plymouth Animal Rescue Foundation.
Yep.
So there's plenty of parking. We're also selling tickets just for lunch. If anyone is not a rider that still wants to come and participate and be part of the ribbon cutting ceremony and the raffles and everything, they can purchase tickets just for lunch as well and just show up about 12:30 for the lunch and the ceremony.
Now you said August. What was the date on
August 20th.
August 20th.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, I'm sure if we can reach the viewers, maybe we
we
can
can.
get you some help.
Yeah, good. I mean, and with all the donations and everything, I forgot to mention one of the enhancements I made to the center after we changed was laptops. We actually have laptops now. I know that was always a big promise when we were the federal program. Laptops for veterans use. We have 3 laptops that were donated by another program in the state called Work Vessels for Vets. They are refurbished, loaded with Microsoft Office products so people can come in and work on resumes, job searches, apartment searches, Skype with a loved one who's deployed, whatever they need to use the laptop, the computer for, they can. And we also had an anonymous community member donated a printer. So if they need to print out those resumes or directions to wherever they need to go, the printer's there for their use at no cost to the veterans or service members as well.
Now Work Vessels for Vets, was that down in Essex area? Is that where?
Yeah, she's down in the Shoreline area, and they're a great program. She didn't hesitate. I called her up. I've known her for a couple of years. I talked to Catherine Cook, who is the program director down there, told her what the transitions were that was happening with the center, and she didn't even miss a beat and said, nope, no problem. You've got 3 laptops coming your way.
Outstanding.
So there was no hesitation.
I'll be looking for the contact number after the show.
Yeah, she would love to come on.
You know, that sounds like a great topic for the show.
They're a wonderful organization. Any veteran that's starting their own business and is having trouble should definitely reach out to them. You know, they can even Google them. That's their mission, is to help veterans who are starting their own businesses, whether they need equipment or a little, I don't know so much about financial backing, but equipment, Their very first project was a fishing boat. That's how it started. They had a veteran who wanted to go into fishing, and that was their first donation, was a fishing boat, so he could go out and fish in Long Island Sound.
Wow. And being right there in Essex.
Yeah, there's perfect
it's-
location for that.
Especially the work vessels for
For
vets.
vets. Yeah.
You know, there's how many veterans? First of all, how many veterans in the past do you have coming through the Army Strong Community Center?
The year leading up to the Army Strong closure, we touched, on average, 3,500 lives a month between e-blasts, outreach efforts, people coming into the center. I don't think that number is going to go down all that much because I'm still doing the emails, I'm still doing the monthly newsletter. I think it's only going to increase because I have the Facebook and social media exposure now.
Plus, you were restricted then too.
Yeah,
weren't
I
you,
couldn't do any of the social media
yeah.
before.
Or just veterans. Weren't you restricted to reservists?
We were, because it was funded through Army Reserve. That was our core focus. Everything else was just a little fringe benefit.
Yeah.
But now, with the focus really being on the veteran population and the veterans, not just in Bristol, but we're hoping to make this a regionalized center. I mean, Bristol still has the 4th largest veteran population in the state. I just looked at recent figures last week, and we still have the 4th largest veterans population in Bristol. But when you compare veteran to civilian, it has the largest ratio of any of the municipalities in the state.
Numbers must be going up because at one time it was the 5th overall, and per capita it's still the largest veterans population. Yeah, so I mean you've got a lot of potential business there.
Absolutely, and you know, just also with when it was the Army Strong Community Center, because I had to look at all the statistics and everything too. We, in that year leading up to the closure for June 30th, we triaged over 500 veteran service members, meaning those were veterans or service members that came in and had serious issues that needed a little bit more help with, whether it was homelessness, unemployment, financial assistance. So we did touch lives in the community, and it was really hard when we got the word that we were closing. We had everybody reaching out to our state politicians, to our federal delegation, everyone trying to find funding for this to continue.
You know, you had mentioned homeless. Has the numbers gone up? I know it's difficult to monitor the homeless, never mind one group of the homeless.
Right.
Have you heard if the numbers have gone up as far as homeless veterans in the area?
It's gotten better, I think. I'm not getting as many referrals over from the shelters, but there are a lot more programs in place. You know, I went to the Armed Forces Day luncheon, and Commissioner Connolly from the Connecticut Department of Veteran Affairs was the guest speaker. And he had talked about how, you know, when Connecticut says we've solved homelessness among the veteran population, it's not that they don't exist, but there's more programs in place to help them. And Commissioner Connolly is really doing a lot on the Rocky Hill campus to clean it up and make it more accessible for veterans, even maybe take some of those empty buildings that are on the campus and refurbish them and make them available for housing as well. So he's really taken a strong stance on the homelessness issue in Connecticut.
I mean, the state has a property across the street too. If you're coming down West Street from 91, the veterans home is on the left,
Right.
and those are all state buildings on the right.
Yeah, that little like row houses kind of thing. Yeah.
I know that one time they were talking about moving the Legion down there, and maybe the VFW, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to do that. You know, at one point also, you serviced the whole region, not just Bristol area region, Connecticut, but it was actually the Northeast. What is it now? Are you still going to try to
I'm not going to turn anybody away. You know, if someone from Maine calls me, I'm going to give them the resources I have. I still have 4 years worth of resources in my office. I'm not going to say, oh, you don't live in Connecticut, I can't help you. But our focus is definitely in the Bristol and greater Bristol area. In the state, you know, I've talked to Commissioner Conley. He is all about this staying open and is willing to help in any way possible. I'm going to actually be trained, go through the training with Tom Stefanko, who is the Department of Advocacy for the state of Connecticut Veterans Affairs. I myself am looking at more training personally, working towards an MSW in veterans issues. So there's always going to be more stuff going on. I lost my train of thought for a second. Sorry.
It happens. It happens. You know, you used to have 2 of you working on this in the past.
There's only one now.
There's just one. There's
There's
just
just
you. You know, but you've developed such a networking over the last 4 years that, you know, and plus the experience of being there. It may be a little bit busier now for you.
It is.
Although there was a lot of times where you were there by yourself anyways.
Yeah.
It started off with two employees there. It was, you're the original. And 3 have come and gone.
Yeah, I've
with
had
you.
3 other coworkers.
And especially toward the end, there was a lot of downtime where you were handling it all anyways.
Yeah.
So.
My last coworker was still in the reserve, so she got not deployed, but she got activated to be on duty and stationed up at Fort Devon. So, yeah, I was there alone a lot.
You know, you also go out to a lot of these networking. Middletown.
Oh my gosh, yes, the Middletown, the State Military Coalition, Community Coalition is the
They
new
still
name.
have that. That was
They
with
still have that.
Dan McHale, right?
Well, Dan retired,
Yeah.
so the new transition assistant, Jay Bracca, has taken it over, and he continues to hold the meetings monthly. So we go there. Bristol Cares, which is a local group of community service type organizations within the city of Bristol. So whether it's BCO, which is the Bristol Community Organization, community services, youth services, the senior services, the police and emergency services, everybody, we try to get together once a month just to compare notes and see what's going on and where some weaknesses are, where they need strengths. One of the things I remembered I wanted to mention about the homelessness issue, especially in Bristol, some of the people may know that the Elms, which is located a little bit farther down on West Street in Bristol, was on the left, right?
Yeah.
It was transitional housing for St. Vincent de Paul. Again, with a lot of the budget cuts, they had to close that facility as transitional housing. There is a group out of Hartford that focuses on some veterans programs that is looking into that property to come in and take it over and run it with a preference to veterans and a more permanent housing situation.
Whereas before it was all homeless.
Yeah.
And for those that aren't aware where that's located, it was right in front of Ray Street on West.
Yeah.
Where Ray Street came out, you got this side street there. I forgot what the name of that is.
I don't remember.
But yeah, it's if you're coming down West Street from the west end, it's on the left-hand side. It actually just looks like a
looks like an apartment building.
duplex or something. But yeah, I know personally that you've helped so many veterans in the past, and we want to thank you for everything that you've done for veterans.
Oh, thank you.
Your dedication and your, I mean, you're always there. We've heard it from the community every time I've walked in there. You've always been helping somebody. It's a great thing that you're doing. Is there anything else that you might want to mention that we haven't covered? I know there's so much, but it's just, does anything come?
I know there's so many different programs. Really, I want to direct people to the Facebook. I'm of that generation. I don't think I'm that old, but I know I'm not a spring chicken. But the social media, I think, is going to be huge, especially reaching out some of our younger veteran population and their families. So I do have Facebook page, which has everything on it. It has the schedule of when service providers are coming. It has a schedule when the center is open. If for some reason, like yesterday afternoon, I needed to close early for a family situation, I put it out there. It's linked to a Twitter account and Instagram, so I'm all about the social media. And the fundraiser is set up as an event page. So if people go in and like the Facebook page, they can look at the event for the fundraiser and get information as it's updated about the ticket prices and the map of where they're going to be riding around to, and everything else will be there.
I don't think there's one group out there. Actually, I used to come to you for this show because there's so many organizations out there, and that was one of the main reasons why this show started close to 3 years ago. Yeah. It was to get the information out to the public, the veterans community, and their families and friends.
Yep.
It's not just limited to the veteran community.
No.
Anybody that deals with veterans, indirectly or not, you've been a great help. I know when you walk into the now the Veteran Strong, you're so used to saying Army Strong,
Yes, I
the
am.
Veteran Strong Community Center. As soon as you walk in, you've got a vast amount of resources on the right.
Yeah.
So if you're in a need, and everything's confidential.
Yes.
Everything is
Absolutely
confidential.
confidential.
So if you're having some issues, you know of someone that's having some issues, stop down and see Donna. If she can't help you personally, she certainly knows where to direct you. Now, you said the Facebook.
Yep, I gave the Facebook
so
information
that should be
and the
flashing
phone
on
number.
the bottom of the screen. That's just about 25 minutes goes by fast.
It does.
We've got about 2 minutes left. Last call. If there's anything else that we haven't mentioned, this show is actually seen statewide on Frontier
Good.
Cable, and obviously Channel 5 Comcast through the 8 communities that Nutmeg covers. But and we actually signed something also with Brantford.
Oh, good.
Brantford is actually
Awesome.
showing this show.
Awesome.
So it's far-reaching.
Good.
So once again, if you yourself or someone that is in need of assistance of any kind, please give Donna a call, and certainly go on to Facebook.
Yes.
And get that information. Hopefully, we'll see you out there for that event. Without funding, organizations like this, programs like this can't exist. So please, you don't have to be a veteran to help out with the fundraising and donating.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
With that being said, Donna, it was a great show. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yep.
And we're if you need anything from us, you're always welcome on the show. As before, you couldn't come on the show.
No, they didn't want us on the
So
show.
you certainly have a sounding board here anytime you want to come on.
Good. I'll bring some service providers with me the next time.
We can have four
There we
folks
go.
on.
There we go.
So with that being said, I'm getting a word that we're just about out of time.
Good.
So once again, thanks for watching this episode of the Veterans Corner. Hope you found it very informative. I'm sure you did. Until the next time, my name is Chuck Woodin. You're watching the Veterans Corner. Good night.